It wasn't just a bigger trip. It was a messy, ambitious gamble that went from hope to chaos in a hurry. What happened when Columbus sailed back to the Caribbean in 1493 with a massive fleet? Did he find the gold and glory he promised Spain? Stick around, because this story of new lands, angry Taino, and big mistakes is wilder than you expect. It's September 1493, and Christopher Columbus is back at sea, just months after wowing Spain with news of his first voyage. This time, he's not exploring with 3 little ships. He's got a full-on expedition to settle the new world he thinks is Asia. This video is all about what went down on Columbus's second voyage, the new places he saw, the fights that broke out, and the trouble that started brewing. We're embarking on a journey that promised riches but delivered something entirely different. The big challenge is this: Columbus has to prove his first trip wasn't a fluke. Spain's King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella are expecting gold, trade, and new Christian lands, but Columbus is walking into a mess he doesn't see coming. His crew's huge, his goals are bigger, and the Taino people he met last time aren't as friendly anymore. How does he handle a mission that's way more than he bargained for? Let's break it down. After his first voyage, Columbus returned to Spain in March 1493, parading gold trinkets and Taino people to impress the royal court. He convinced Ferdinand and Isabella to fund a second, more ambitious trip. This time, Spain's all in, giving him 17 ships, over 1,000 men, and supplies to start a colony. We're talking sailors, soldiers, farmers, priests, even horses and pigs. Columbus's job? Set up a permanent base, find gold, convert the locals to Christianity, and keep Spain ahead of Portugal in the exploration race. The fleet sets sail from Cadiz, Spain, on September 25, 1493. It's a whole different vibe from the first voyage. The ships are bigger, carracks and caravels loaded with cannons, tools, and trade goods like beads and cloth. Columbus is Admiral of the Ocean Sea now, with fancy titles and big promises to keep. His crew includes nobles chasing fame, priests aiming to save souls, and workers ready to build a new life. But Columbus is under pressure. Spain wants results, not just stories. The journey across the Atlantic is smoother this time. Columbus uses what he learned on his last trip, following trade winds from the Canary Islands. On November 3, 1493, they spot land, an island he names Dominica in the Lesser Antilles. Over the next few weeks, he sails through a chain of islands, naming them like he's writing a map for Spain: Guadeloupe, Montserrat, Antigua. These places are lush, with dense forests and waterfalls, but they're not the gold-filled Asia he's still chasing. He's thinking these are the outer edges of China or Japan. Columbus meets more Taino and other Arawak-speaking people similar to those on his first voyage. They're curious at first, trading food like fish and pineapples for glass beads and bells. But things aren't as friendly as before. Some islands, like Guadeloupe, are home to Carib people, who Columbus hears are fiercer, maybe even cannibals. He doesn't meet them head-on, but his men find signs of conflict, bones and stories of raids. Columbus writes about these savages in his journal, hyping up the danger to make his mission sound epic. It's part of his sales pitch back to Spain. The big goal is Hispaniola, where Columbus left 39 men at La Navidad on his first voyage. He's hoping to find a thriving base with piles of gold. But when he arrives in late November 1493, it's a disaster. La Navidad is burned to the ground, and all 39 men are dead. The Taino, led by a cacique named Caonabo, attacked the fort after the Spanish got greedy, demanding gold and causing trouble with local women. Columbus is shocked. He thought the Taino were pushovers. Now he's got to start over, and his crew's already nervous about this new world. Columbus picks a new spot on Hispaniola's north coast and founds a settlement called Isabela in January 1494. It's Spain's first real colony in the Americas, but it's a mess from the start. The land's swampy, malaria's spreading, and the men, especially the nobles, aren't used to work hard. They came for gold, not farming or building. Columbus pushes them to set up houses, a church, and defenses. But morale is low, food runs short, and the Taino, who were generous last time, are wary after the La Navidad fiasco. Let's talk about the Taino. Columbus still needs their help for food and directions to gold. He meets caciques like Guacanagari again, who's still friendly but cautious. Columbus demands tribute, gold or cotton, from every Taino over 14, thinking it'll make Spain rich. But the Taino don't have gold mines. They trade small nuggets from rivers. This tax angers them, and some chiefs, like Caonabo, start planning resistance. Columbus sends men to explore Hispaniola's interior, looking for gold fields. They find some, but not the mountains of treasure Columbus promised Spain. Things get darker. Columbus's men start taking Taino by force, some as workers, others as enslaved people. He sends hundreds back to Spain to show progress, but many die on the voyage from disease or harsh conditions. Smallpox and other European diseases are hitting the Taino hard, and they don't know why. Columbus also clashes with his crew. The nobles hate taking orders, and some sailors turn to stealing from the Taino. By mid-1494, rebellions were brewing, both Spanish and Taino. Columbus keeps exploring, desperate to find something significant. He sails along Hispaniola's coast, then to Cuba again, still thinking it's Asia. He explores Jamaica too, naming it Santiago. Everywhere he goes, he sees beauty, green hills, clear rivers, but not the palaces or spices he expected. He forces Taino guides to show him gold sources, but they lead him to small streams, not mines. Frustrated, Columbus becomes stricter, punishing the Taino who refuse to pay tribute and cracking down on his men. The climax comes in March 1495, when Columbus faces a Taino uprising on Hispaniola. Several caciques, led by Caonabo, band together to fight the Spanish. Columbus, with his soldiers, horses, and dogs, crushes the rebellion in a battle at Vega Real. He captures Caonabo and others, sending them to Spain in chains. It's a brutal show of power. Columbus isn't just exploring now, he's conquering. The Taino are shocked, and the Spanish settlers see Columbus as an authoritarian leader, but his harsh methods make enemies on both sides. By 1496, Columbus knew he had to report back to Spain. Isabela's struggles, disease, hunger, and fights are constant. He's got some gold, but not enough to justify the humongous fleet. He loads the Nina with Taino captives, gold trinkets, and exotic goods like tobacco and pineapples, and sails home in March 1496. The return trip is grim. More Taino die, and Columbus is sick, worn out by the chaos. He lands in Spain in June 1496, facing a court that's not as impressed as last time. So, what happened on Columbus's second voyage? He set out to build a colony and find gold, but found disease, rebellion, and a Taino people pushed to the brink. He explored new islands, Dominica, Guadeloupe, Jamaica, but didn't find the Asia he promised. His harsh rule sparked conflict, and his dream of riches started crumbling. The big question is, how did Spain react to this mixed bag of a voyage? That's what's coming next. Columbus's second voyage wasn't the triumph he hoped for. It was a messy step toward colonization that changed the Caribbean forever. His ambition clashed with reality, and the Taino paid the price. Want to know how Spain judged his efforts? Check out the following video. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my video with others.